You open the hood on your 2023 sedan. The check engine light is blinking. Not flashing, blinking. That means stop driving now. So you do what any owner would do. You grab your tools. You've changed oil, swapped alternators, even rebuilt a carburetor back in the day. But today, you can't even find the engine. It's buried under plastic covers, wiring harnesses, and a dozen sealed modules. You pull out your OBD scanner, the one that worked on every car since 1996. It gives you a code, but not a real code, a generic one, P0A4F, something about auxiliary transmission pump performance. You search YouTube, nothing. You call the dealer. They say bring it in. Diagnostic fee is $250 just to look. This is not a defect. This is the design decision. Modern cars are not built to be repaired. They are built to be replaced. And the moment you realize that, the moment you understand that your ownership is just a rental agreement with extra steps, everything changes. Here's what they didn't tell you when you signed that loan. Underneath the sheet metal, the problem isn't just software. It's the marriage of software to every single moving part. Your transmission doesn't shift mechanically anymore. It shifts by wire. A sensor sends a signal to a computer, which sends a signal to a solenoid. That solenoid opens a valve, and if any one of those components fails or even loses calibration, the whole transmission goes into limp mode. You can't bypass it. You can't trick it. You can't swap in a used part from a junkyard because that used part has its own unique software ID, and the main computer will reject it. Engineers call this component protection. You should call it what it is: forced dependency. Take the battery, not the hybrid battery, the regular 12-volt starter battery. On a 2010 car, you could swap it in 5 minutes. On a 2024 car, you have to perform a battery registration procedure using dealer-level software. Why? Because the charging system adapts to the battery's age and internal resistance over time. Drop in a new battery without telling the computer, and the alternator will overcharge it. It'll die in 6 months. The dealer will happily sell you another one. This is engineered failure wrapped in a layer of efficiency. And then there are the subscriptions. Heated seats, remote start, even adaptive cruise control. Features that are physically installed in your car. The heating elements are in the seats. The antennas are in the bumpers, but locked behind a monthly fee. You bought the hardware. You did not buy the permission to use it. That is not a technical limitation. That is a business model. And it tells you everything about how the industry sees you, not as a customer, as a recurring revenue stream. Compare that to a car from 1998. That car had a distributor, a throttle cable, a vacuum line diagram glued to the underside of the hood. It had problems, yes, but every problem was physical. You could see it, touch it, test it with a multimeter. If the check engine light came on, you pulled a code that pointed to a specific sensor. You bought that sensor for $40, swapped it in 10 minutes, and cleared the code with a paperclip. That car didn't know who owned it. It didn't care. It just ran. Today's car knows your driving habits. It knows your location. It knows when your payment is late, and it is capable of disabling itself remotely. That is not a safety feature. That is a leash. So why is this happening? 2 reasons. First, cost cutting. Wiring harnesses are expensive. Buttons are expensive. A touchscreen and a software lock cost next to nothing once the development is done. Second, control. When you can't repair your car, you have no choice but to return to the dealer. And the dealer charges $200 an hour for work that a 16-year-old with a ratchet could have done 15 years ago. You are not buying a product. You are buying a replacement cycle. But here's the truth nobody tells you. There is a growing movement of drivers who are fighting back. They're buying older vehicles. The sweet spot is 2010 to 2015, late enough to have stability control and airbags, early enough to still have a dipstick. They're learning to diagnose networks instead of just nuts and bolts. They're using open-source software and generic J2534 pass-through devices to access the same calibration routines that dealers use. It takes longer. It requires studying wiring diagrams and CAN bus architecture, but it's possible. And every year that passes, more people realize that the new car in the driveway is a financial trap. So what do? If you're shopping, look for cars with physical buttons and naturally aspirated engines. Avoid European luxury brands like a plague. They are the worst offenders. If you already own a newer car, buy a factory service manual, not a Haynes, the real one. And start treating your car's computer system like you treat your phone. Backup adaptations, log fault codes, and never take a software update unless you know exactly what it changes. Because the industry is not going back. In 5 years, most new cars will require an active subscription just to start. Mechanics will need computer science degrees, and DIY repair will mean reverse engineering code, not turning wrenches. But you don't have to play that game. The choice is simple. Keep renting your car from the factory or buy something you actually own. If you still think you own your car after this video, go ahead.